Actually, otherwise your
Never mind.
faces would be in that scenario.
Oh, we're coming up.
Yeah, that's not good.
And
IT director.
Yeah.
So there's a video.
Yeah, Brian, can I look at it? Oh, video's gone.
Yeah, I
video's gone.
turned that off.
Oh.
Do you have video or sound yet, Cindy? Or Karen?
Yes, I have sound, just no video at the moment, but I did have video.
Heard ya.
I know.
Or she undid her Zoom, or
As soon as you
she
said
must have
that.
heard us.
You are mute.
I just unmuted.
Are they texting it?
What about now? There's no video though.
I just kept that off.
Oh,
I
I'm
just wanna see
sorry.
my
Yeah,
face.
I'm sorry.
All right, just text
Stop
her.
by, Gary.
Come on.
Anybody have Ryan's number?
I thought we had it,
I wouldn't think so.
but I might have had
They
it.
may not be aware of it. Take it. I have to say a word order, but take it.
Can anybody hear us now?
Audio going in and out.
Yes, I can hear you. I just can't see you, which is fine.
Yeah, she's talking now, on Zoom, we couldn't hear her.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
That
that's
shows
Who
up
did?
on the
So
bottom.
that's better.
If they chat that message, it'll show up on the bottom.
Cindy, can you hear us now?
See?
yes, I
We
can.
can't hear them.
Okay.
We just, yeah, we can't hear them.
Chat question, then I got
We can't.
it. Thank you. Yeah.
You checked Craig for Ryan's number.
Oh, God.
You don't have right. I thought I had it.
Karen, this is Karen and I can hear you now. I just can't see you.
Oh,
Now you can see us too.
Yep, I can see everything now.
all right. We're back on track.
Okay,
Michelle.
any questions, comments, corrections with the minutes? Hearing the minutes are approved as written. Supervisor reports. Kyle?
Well, Carl, Craig and I met with friends at Yellow Smoke last week, and Rachel Jacobson with the Farm Service Agency was also there. She thought it would be fairly simple to get that switched over. With one piece of the puzzle, she wanted to make sure that our current tenant was notified of his tenancy being terminated. So Martha was checking in on that. I mean, we did send them notice when we decided to not rent the farm, so I don't know, we're trying to figure out if that was good enough or if we needed to be more than that, so. But otherwise, it'll take just a matter of a few days worth of paperwork to get switched from our current tenant to Friends of Yellow Smoke to get the conservation reserve payments sent to them. And then be the same process.
And then they'll come in
Then they'll
and cut the
come to
county
us.
a check.
And they will keep the 10%. To do what they do with their funds to help the whole county instead of just. So I thought it was productive, and I was happy to hear that, so, cause originally they were hesitant, cause they, with a 501(c)(3) that they are, they can only have so much income per year, and they thought that was gonna push them over that. But the numbers are below what, their threshold, so they were fine with that. But I questioned a lot of, then they questioned it too, because they get some pretty big donations once in a while. Through their friends of Yellow Smoke, so. But I don't know, that's something they need to look into, how they handle
But if
it.
they spend it, doesn't that keep you below your threshold?
I would think so, but I think they're sitting on one pretty large donation that hasn't decided what they wanna do with it all yet.
Gotcha.
That's up to them, I guess.
I like the job they did out there at that parking area.
Yeah,
That looked really.
well, that was Pheasants Forever, did
Pheasants
that.
Forever.
Yes, I failed to mention that last, Josh Langholz texted me that, sent me pictures of that, him and a group went out there and they sprayed all the trees that we had mowed off last fall. They let them grow up, so they knew which ones to spray, so they sprayed them and they cleaned the parking lot up. And
Really spraying.
I guess I didn't ask what they sprayed them with, I'm guessing some sort of
Great
just
Sean,
Cordon or
Cordon.
something.
Cordon.
Yeah, some sort of tree killer, brush killer, so.
Do you have, can you spray that on them, you know, or do you have to stump them first and then spray into the?
No, you get I've had pretty good luck. If you get the leaves saturated pretty good, they'll die with the right herbicide, so. When they're
Okay.
small, they're easy to take care of, so.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. Thanks.
Oh, they're up on it, so.
Good.
Yeah, glad to see that. I think when the new assessor gets here, I think we need to have them maybe review some of those abatements that we've done in the last couple months.
I agree.
Because I did ask our past assessor about the action we took last week on that house. And he said, we've done them kind of both ways in the past, depending on what their usage is defined as, so. So I think that's a Paul question when he
So
gets
if it
there.
isn't like ag usage, you may let it go to the
Yeah.
whole building.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure we're doing it right.
Park a boat or something in there. or something.
Yeah, I wanna make sure we're doing them right.
I agree.
Be good to bring up with him. Paul was here yesterday and we talked to him.
Yeah.
And it's.
Yeah, we all introduced ourselves to him yesterday. That was nice.
Great.
29th will be here soon and
I think we have till, according to the ordinance, February 2nd to have them brought forward too.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, we have time to review and clarify a couple of those if we have questions. 'Cause I'm pretty sure some of them are ag buildings, because I did see a building permit after I went back and looked at them, so. Once you don't get a building permit for an ag building, so. But if they're commercial, then there should be a building permit. We need to review a couple of those, but. That's something you can.
But if it's part residence,
So,
don't they need a building permit then?
Yeah, but we have. I
Or
don't
not?
know, we abated a couple sheds. And when we abated them, I assumed they were commercial sheds, like a seed shed or whatever, chemical storage facility. So that's why, but now thinking back, maybe they weren't, so maybe we did them wrong, but maybe we did them right, I don't, so I think we need to have our new assessor kind of go through and just reevaluate those and see if we did them right.
do you think the one that we did out on 193rd for Reese? That's a big building. You remember?
That was one that kind of popped up that maybe that's why I think we need to have them.
Yeah, that would just be an example of one that I was like, hey,
I guess I just so used to when they came up here, they've been,
well, we were told that if they're on the agenda, that you can rest assured that they've been vetted and that they,
and no, I'm not trying to,
I,
everybody's learning down in that office, trying to figure things out.
I get it.
so
it
we're
might be a
just-
good time as well. We wanted to talk to him about updating our ordinances and what the dollar thresholds are. And
Yep.
yeah,
So,
Yeah,
we have lots of
maybe you
questions
need
for
to
you.
change or look at those
yeah,
numbers.
I think we
don't know.
do, because I did the math, I think the 100,000 back in 2013 when they were done was like equivalent to like 150,000 now. So.
Yeah.
With inflation, so.
Yeah, Well,
You can build a two-car garage and wrap up $100,000 anymore, it seems
piece of
like.
cake.
Yeah.
But I think that people get a little bit of grace because of the turnover, and, so we're gonna go back on things, so.
Well, I think we have the option to clean some of them up
Okay.
according to the ordinance that,
By February 2nd.
yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
That
I
would
think
be
we
the
do
other-
have the option, because nothing will take effect with those until,
well, I think we just need to be consistent.
right.
yeah.
You know, that's the fair thing for everybody.
Right, what I hate is when somebody, one department said we can do it, then another one's, so I think we.
Right,
But ag bill, you'll get so many rollbacks already, it's just,
right.
I mean, we could have an option in there, if they put an option there, you get the rollback or you get the tax abatement, I think they probably wanna take the rollbacks first.
But for me, the
Okay.
question would be, what is the determining factor on ag and commercial? What's that key word you need to say to ensure that it is actually for ag purpose or commercial? What's the definition?
Right.
Well, I would say commercial, that you could have an actual for-profit business working out of it. That would be my first example I would think of right away.
And so we just kind of go,
Seed sales, you could have a commercial building on your farm, but you run XYZ chemical sales out of it.
okay, so then that's commercial.
That would be a commercial building.
Yeah.
How I would.
Because you're selling that product.
Yes,
What if you're just storing your own
that would be
That'd
ag.
and a neighbor happens to just come by and need to buy something?
ag.
You know, it's the gray
You
area.
might be crossing a line there.
But
I
I
don't know, I was thinking of every scenario, so.
mean, that's a good point. I mean,
And not that the usage couldn't change over the years,
it's correct, but
Yeah.
but once the abatement's over, it's kind of a mute point. So. Is it? Maybe it's not.
I don't, well, yeah.
I don't know.
I think our new assessor will be able to
Oh,
steer us
yeah.
down the right road on those.
Right, right,
Pretty
As long
much
as it's stay
guaranteed.
consistent.
right.
Well,
That'll be
yeah.
awesome, having him on board and, getting the ball rolling.
Be here shortly.
Yeah,
You know, and that, I could hear again, I don't want
Week.
that office has been doing a great job with what they're learning a lot as they go, so.
We've had a lot of challenge.
Well, it'd be nice to have somebody in there with the experience to really make it expedite for them,
Right.
to answer questions on the
not
fly.
bad.
Well, and there's
No.
things that come up even if you have 40 years of experience
Yeah,
that
that's true.
never been asked before, never had that scenario, so it's a learning the whole time. Then the state changes something, and so just when you think you know it all,
Mhm.
something changes, so. I
No,
give,
you don't.
I give some grace to all what's been going on, and mistakes were made, misunderstandings, we'll call it that.
So the last thing, I went to Cherokee on Friday for the Northwest Iowa Youth Emergency Services meeting, pretty standard meeting. It's amazing what kids with I don't know how do I wanna say that, are very creative on destroying buildings, and tunneling through concrete walls up there. Their hands, their hands.
Really?
Yeah,
Find something they can pick at, just keep picking.
just find a little seam and just start, like, 3 or 4 rooms got.
Did they escape?
No, no, they didn't. They caught them before they got down to the rebar before they caught.
That
them.
is crazy.
You know, though,
Just never ceases to amaze me.
I just don't know that the repercussions for such are stringent enough that they even worry about. I really don't. I mean, what are they gonna do to us? I bet that's said all, I bet they hear that, you hear that a lot. What are you gonna do about it?
I'm sure that gets said a lot.
What are they gonna do about it?
Well, fix the holes in the wall.
You know, the old, when they do something, like attack somebody or something, you can call the sheriff to come in. But you could put them in timeout for a half hour, but that's max. Some of the times, some of the things that we should put you in solitary confinement for 30 days, but that ain't gonna happen with kids, that ain't rehabilitate. Well, what we're doing is not doing a lot of rehabilitation either, so, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, I don't know what the answer is to that, but
Really, it's hard.
what we're doing now, to me, don't seem to be the right answer.
what tools do they have available to them that they can cause such damages?
You just separate them,
What tools they have available? It's
very limited.
very
A
limited,
toothbrush,
very resourceful.
very resourceful.
So, and then they're gonna start replacing all their existing antiquated beds with sand beds. Like a plastic frame bed, and then you fill sand, so they can't. And then there's a mattress, it's all sealed up. So they can't tear them apart and use them as weapons, basically.
Yeah, the springs
All
out of
these
them.
springs.
Yeah,
Huh.
so 16, they're just a little over $1,000 a piece.
Saying those gotta be expensive.
Just think about that. I mean, they look for more ways to be more ornery and they network. That's the bad thing about prisons or
Yeah.
confinement facilities. It's just a network facility.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing we do at ISAC, they're doing in jail or confinement.
But through discussion, we talked them out as they were gonna start getting the sand, they were gonna buy it at Menards or whatever, $150 for 100 pounds of sand. They said, well, can't you just go down to the secondary road shop here in Cherokee County and get it for like $22 a ton? So the Cherokee County Supervisor said they would work something out with us for that, so.
Why sand? I've never heard of that.
I just fill sand, I suppose it's easily to transport it to the building, and if it does get broke open, it's,
Vacuum it up.
yeah, then can't be really used. I mean, as a weapon, sand is sand, I mean.
Drown
throw it.
somebody. Smother 'em.
I would.
Sorry, that's where my head went.
Giving them any ideas.
They're not watching our little.
But I think that's the new
videos.
standard in all, correctional facilities, I think, is the sand beds. Maybe they have them at Central Iowa, the new part, I don't know. I'm not pretty good.
I don't know, because I just thought there was like a,
Maybe they got concrete beds over there, I don't know.
yeah, they just,
The mattress.
With.
I think
That'll
that it's
teach
a
us.
stainless steel structure and then there's a
Nails.
mattress on it. I don't think there's any springs in there.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know what they have for sure. I never had to really see the rooms, but
I didn't pay any
But I know
attention to
they're-
that, to be honest with you, but
they wanna get rid of them because of the possibility of,
being a weapon.
and I get it.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Is it full of, enrollment?
Yeah, they're extremely full. Very rarely do we hear it's full of actual consortium kids, so our counties are keeping it full. They've actually had to turn away non-member counties, so,
So we have too much going on.
yeah.
Do you have your counties like we do that are primary?
Yeah, there's original. 1, 2, Buena Vista, Carroll, Cherokee, Clay, Crawford, Dickinson, Ida, Lyon, O'Brien, Plymouth, Pocahontas, Sac, and Sioux. Those are the original ones of that. Which, through what's going on over there at your place, Emmett used to be a part of this, and they questioned if we went through the proper channels of when Emmett pulled out. So they were digging back through records to see if they voted up there. Now they're questioning if each county that's a member of the 28 agree came back to their board of supervisors and a vote.
Yeah. You get it. It's the deal.
So at that time, they were trying to think if it was either your dad or Cecil were on the board up there at that time, so.
Well, I remember, it would have been back when Dad was on, and then Gene Miners told me this, his very first meeting up there. They terminated the current senior director at that time.
Yes.
For some things that had happened. So Gene said, for my very first meeting. What an awkward meeting,
Yeah.
This guy got let go.
Right into the frying pan, huh?
Try my
And
fire.
then at that time, I don't know if you remember, Terry, they were, I think fiscally upside down for a little bit, and each county put in like, I wanna say, don't quote me, but 20,000.
That's the number that sticks in my head. Each county had to cough up 20,000 to keep the place loaded, so.
Yeah. And then, of course, since then, it's got
Yeah, I mean, they
Cheryl
don't,
does a great job and it's
you know,
turned around.
staying afloat, you know, some years it's, you know, they're not a for-profit, so I mean, if you break even every year, it's.
Right,
That's
it's kind of the goal.
kind of the goal. I mean, obviously, it's nice to show profit, so you can upgrade things and stuff. So I mean, it's not like they're running, and trying to make a lot of money up there, it's just.
Right.
Well, that's about all I really had for last week. Well, they did say something though with the new Iowa PIA, some of this mental health stuff. I think Cheryl was gonna maybe reach out to you on some of how this stuff gets billed.
Oh, I think I have an email that,
Okay,
I can't remember who shared it. I know John Mincer shared something a long time ago, or not a long time ago, but
some of the stuff
Couple
we
months
shouldn't be
ago.
paying anymore that we were paying, that the Iowa PIA is supposed to be
we as
picking up.
in
county.
Cherokee or the county.
The county that was. She talks kind of fast and it's. She bounces around a little bit, so I was trying to keep up with her, but when she said she was gonna reach out to you or JCO to get it figured out, I said, good enough.
Yeah.
Apparently, the county has been getting billed for these mental health evaluations, and now that's changed, and we shouldn't be getting, so I think that's probably
She
more,
probably needs to
more
send
of a
it to,
deal.
Pot County to that.
Yeah. Trying to follow all of this.
Cause they would vet it and, you know, if they need to pay it, obviously they're gonna pay it. Or they would,
But see, that was always a concern on how you're gonna,
I know,
because the state has all the money.
They do say that all their transports and everything, they have been very good at getting them paid, and that they're very happy so
Okay.
far with the transition, so.
That was a concern,
Yep,
was a concern.
which, you know, newness is gonna keep them happy for a while, and we can start
Whittling
get them
that back.
hooked
messing
in,
with stuff.
put a nice worm on the hook and then reel them in later, but. Well, that's it.
Good. On that note, did you guys see that Debbie Durham, or not Debbie Durham,
Or
Kelly Garcia?
is stepping down from
I-
HHS?
I saw that
Yes.
email.
Yes, sure.
I didn't see
Really?
it, I didn't see a date of when.
They got
Any good
somebody
reason?
hired. They released it Monday, the 22nd. They've appointed Larry Johnson to succeed
Is
her.
that the guy that was one of the directors up there the other day?
He was the director of Iowa Department of Health and Citizen, has resigned. Next month, after nearly 6 years of service, it's appointed Larry Johnson, current director of the Iowa Department of Inspection, Appeals and Licensing,
That's different.
to succeed. They go on to talk about all the great things that she's done for the state of Iowa. I won't read it to you.
I just wonder how that'll affect, like right now, with the early childhood Iowa. HHS kind of pushing us into the district game, like behavioral health.
Got that meeting tomorrow.
Yeah. So I wonder if that'll lighten up with that push or not, or if that,
That is a,
or how even behavioral health and Iowa primary care and our disability access points and I wonder with your head person stepping down and more will fall through the cracks or it goes smoother, just, I guess, kind of a lot of questions in my mind.
it can only go smoother.
Oh,
Like your way of thinking.
exactly.
Well, I'm
Going
just
up
kind of
from here.
disturbed that she quit in the middle of the transition here, because we really are only in the middle of her
We still are.
transition.
Well, that was my thought, Ty, and it's like, you know, we haven't even heard from Iowa primary care. At least we're lucky enough to have our disability access point now, Suzanne?
Oh, yeah, it's, yeah.
The gal from Council.
Yeah, come up and talk to us.
We, because we invited her.
And she's gonna be a huge help
Yeah,
with a
right.
lot of
I'm gonna tell you,
things.
them four that spoke at ISAC, I was
Oh.
impressed with all four.
But you know, my whole beef with that is, I mean, not them, they're doing a great job in picking up all this work and doing the workload, but where's Iowa primary care? They're the ones with the contract for behavioral health. And to me, it seems like it's getting shoved onto these disability action point local people that know the need and are doing it because they want the best for our areas.
Isn't that what always happens, no matter who's. in
During the
charge?
barbecue fest, we had the, emergency
Oh.
services downtown and it got back that, oh, somebody had a mental episode. I said, well, who are they gonna call? You know, and I said, well, 988, because we don't have to call to find out. So that was unusual for him. Right, so it just,
I just bring it up because I thought that was interesting and it's, I guess.
Because it's the governor's end of her term, I mean, not running, I mean, I don't know,
She'd finish out till the end.
you'd think, but.
Either way, I also, had worked with the Department of Revenue last year and I submitted Paul's, application that we appointed him as conference board. He got that all done.
they approved it.
They approved, they got submitted. She thought it wouldn't take very long. Should be approved before he starts. A real nice gal I talked to.
Good.
Got that done. That was about it.
I was just gonna follow up on, so it says Garcia built trust by openly engaging with the Iowans to inform them of the system's improvements. Director Garcia and Johnson will immediately begin weeks-long transition plan, which will include engaging the HHS division leaders, staff, and key stakeholders across the state. There's the positive part of it. So I think that's gonna be okay. Friday, I had a call from somebody that lived out on 193rd out there by Dow City. And needed somebody to come out there immediately. And so I went out there with Ben and it turned out that the ditch across from his property had not been cleaned out and all the gravel, so we did make him happy. That was just him that called earlier that they did a great job and that he was very satisfied and happy. The call that he started calling on Friday, on Thursday night, and I was busy, and then 7 o'clock, Friday mornings when they called it was absolutely a disaster, and so. I was supposed to be working for Barbecue Fest, but I ran out there, and while we were out there, 210th is, you go out there one time and it's good, and then you go out there the next time and it's just, but he said that, once that bridge is open, which I think we're getting close, no,
Well, I think, yeah, sometimes close, it's still half a football field away, it's sometimes just watching the
They're
progress
short.
on the Charter Road to Denison Highway, it's like, are they done? And then 2 weeks later, they come and do something else, it's like,
yeah,
I don't know, that somehow the state, when they line up all these subcontractors to do, I think what I gather, just guardrail needs to be put on this bridge and they can open it up. Why
that's,
weren't they there immediately? That's a main thoroughfare. It's not like, I just don't get it. You'd think that would be like
Top priority.
top
I just can't
priority.
believe the semi-traffic that you meet on a gravel road. When it's dusty, you are blinded by the dust.
Right.
Absolutely blinded. We'd gone out there, right after that heavy rain, and it was just, it's just bad. People that have nice cars, I just go bad. Where maybe have
There's a
a,
paved,
yeah.
there's
it's-
a paved detour.
I,
Exactly.
if you drive a semi and they gonna send you out of the route, you're based on how many, you're losing money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the calls and I agree with them. If your route is planned on it's 44 miles from the plant, and you actually are going 52 miles, then you have to go back, you're losing money. Diesel's expensive. So
Don't send the bill to the Iowa DOT.
I will do that. But it's just, but I was glad we had a happy.
It's unfortunate that we get this phone call when that should be directed to Ames. But I don't.
I just
I
never
mean, we
think
have a-
about doing that, but, yeah. My other thing I've talked about is our barbecue fest held here in Denison. I thought it was a huge success, lots of volunteers, lots of people. And,
Weather was dialed in correctly, I think.
yeah, the weather was absolutely, it was, absolutely perfect. They had stretched it out a little bit this year, and I think maybe we stretched it out too far, I'm not sure, because band was way up here, and then vendors felt like when the bands were done playing, they were missing that hungry crowd that would come back through, that they just kind of could head out, so that was fun. But, yeah, it was good.
That's what the vendors thought.
Yeah, that was the first.
I heard a lot of people make comments that they could sit and eat and talk,
Yep,
hear each other.
yep, that
So
was. a
they
good
liked
time.
when it was further down.
Yeah.
And if you're-
Time to get his turn yet, sorry.
That's all right.
Kinda early.
Yeah,
Well, Gene,
I thought maybe with Craig being gone and so I think it took us 10 minutes to get our thing working, so that kind of threw us off, so sorry. What did,
Sorry, can you mind, we'll just give you time right after they're done. Can you take all the time you want?
I don't have,
It was gonna be a short meeting. No, I'm just kidding. I know.
Well, I will be quick, because like I mentioned, we do have a pre-board meeting that I was preparing for to here right after the board meeting, so I'm glad to come up early.
Nope, this'll work just fine.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Yeah, works out great. Well, first things first, have one utility permit, just mooring underneath the electrical service line underneath the H Avenue at 36 I believe they'd mentioned want a trench across the road, which typically we like to see them forward, and I was reading through our utility permit. Kind of wouldn't mind looking at possibly adding a little bit of language in our utility permit application, specifying a few of the requirements that we have. I know on our larger fiber installations that we have, we do a pre-construction meeting with the utilities, specifying we want you more underneath culverts, so many feet underneath our ditch lines for future maintenance, if we gotta do some ditching, things of that nature, but just your day-to-day, doing a single boring underneath the road, we really don't have any language to that effect in our utility permit application of where we want the lines placed. Might look at doing a little bit of rewording in that, sure that would, if I
That'd be great.
decide to.
It's always good to
you
update.
get no argument out of me.
But yeah, so we specified to have them bored underneath the roadway.
Yeah, with the technology they have nowadays, I mean,
It's almost gotta be easier to bore anywhere, huh? I mean, is it that much cheaper to run the trencher?
Well, not everybody's trenching, I usually have to call somebody, private contractor, like a local utility company, they don't usually have their own bore machine. So they'd have to call in another contractor to do that, but most local companies have their own knife. So.
But, and we have allowed open trenching, but typically on that, level B road or something, dead end, level B, things of that nature, but typically across our gravel roads, we would prefer not to see it, so.
Or just
court
court fees.
But, anyway, there. Like the bridge over there, like I mentioned, we have a pre-board meeting here today at 10:30. Over there, just gotta get a feel for how they intend to go about their construction for the bridge deck over there. It's kind of, then we will do a dry run where we measure our tolerances from the reinforcement steel that they're placing this week here. Not sure how the weather is playing out for them, but the intention was at first to pour at the end of this week. I think they're backing it up the first part of next week. Hopefully they kind of stick to that, where we have the help available for doing the testing here. I know Jim, he's gonna be gone at the end of next week, so hopefully we're doing a pour first part of next week while we have all hands on deck and our testing abilities there. So we'll have quite a few guys out there, like I say, hustle buckets of concrete and doing air tests and salt tests, making sure everything's going smoothly but that's all gonna be discussed today, how they intend to go about their pour, so. Great crew, they're up on J Avenue. Rain is, of course, messing with everybody's work. Over on the bridge, our great crew, they're struggling to get much done with, wet mud. They continue to pick when they can and dry it out. As soon as it's dry, we keep back at it, so. But they are doing J Avenue and they are doing a little bit around the corner on the dirt road too, just addressing a couple spots that, they're just some within the right of way, working from one side, so. And then, like I said, not really looking at opening up another gravel road this year. It just gets too late in the season to want to be able to have a heal up and just, you know, to open up a dirt road too late in the season, doesn't really give it time to firm up before winter hits and, don't want to cause problem from that. We do have some dirt roads that we can, work on and possibly probably have a season on, so. Our material for bridge crew, our 108-inch twin pipe, material started showing up yesterday for that. So there got quite a few loads coming in on that, but since we got all the material on site and probably start doing a little shaping while the bridge that we're gonna get that installed as soon as we can. Probably take them over a couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks, something of that neighborhood.
Let's say drink more just in case. Cold weather, that's the biggest thing.
With weather, yeah.
Weather and compaction is the biggest thing on this one here, because it's a part of Margaret Road, and once you start getting above the pipe, you're gonna have to shop back and stabilize that road.
Maybe again, bringing a self-propelled roller to assist in getting it rolled properly. That's gonna be key for when we're building up this road on top of this pipe and backfilling around it, do a little bit of fill up big high with gravel, then do a little bit of a flooding to it, just so it kind of fills in around the structure and then a plate factor in between them. We only got 4.5 feet in between these pipe to work, be able to work to get compacted around them. So backfilling is gonna be key to any large diameter pipe, so we wanna make sure we get it done right. So, but material showing up, on that one. Hopefully the weather treats us well. Our 10-day looks really good, so hopefully things dry up and we get some work done on that. Get in and out before too far in the harvest anyway, so. Roadside crew, out mowing and seeding where we can. We got a couple areas where we've got some smaller trees that are growing up in the right of way that we want to address. Still do a little bit of spraying in that regard, maybe kill some smaller trees, but aside from that, we're done spray, say. But yeah, getting the roads mowed up, and that's how they'll finish out their season. So, and then we'll be talking to our chemical suppliers about our spray program for next year, and kind of want to look at possibly a different spray program than what we're using. Something that doesn't require one of the products we use is a dry mixture that requires a lot of getting it in solution, and they don't like the precipitate in the tanks. Looking for maybe a solution to that. So we'll talk to our chemical suppliers in that regard, but we got time for that. That's next year. So, and then
How's our new spray truck coming?
That's what I was just thinking.
well, Paul actually called me. They contacted him. Pretty well done, except for put a black tank on it. So he said, "You don't want a black tank on that, do you?" Well, not really. We got all winter now to have what we want. It's a specified contract, fair tank like.
Yeah, I look at it like I don't really use all winter.
But I think we'll have get it right what we ordered. But they are actively working on it. Up until this point, we're just kind of in line to get worked on, but it is in their shop and being worked on now. So I anticipate we'll have it before winter, but
Should have it for next year anyway.
we'll definitely have it for next year.
Perfect.
We kind of knew from, about midsummer that we knew really weren't gonna get it to be really useful for this season, so. And even at that, our pellet trace truck was probably very good. We probably wouldn't, for the last few weeks through chemical in it and used it. It'll only have to clean it out and service it up, and so we'll put it to good use next year, so. Sean and Brent did go down to 310th Street there, the approach to our 141 there. They did put together a little bit of an estimate on that. Really, we're just looking at as time and equipment, this. What we feel we can do within the constraints that's there. If we got some steep banks to contend with, we can make it better, but not it's a 100%, you know, design degree, but we're gonna get in there and get it leveled off, get it safer for them at that intersection and leave it at that. Try to get much more, we're getting into one heck of a project, you know, you could have 10, 12 foot of fill in some areas coming down that hill and, we can make it better. Well, maybe not perfect, but a lot better. And, yeah, I think that's really all we're looking.
Is that considering using, having Kent push those trees back and pull the dirt off that?
That's taking into account that he's gonna have those trees removed. And this is probably a next year project for us. I think maybe he's gonna have those trees out of there yet this fall. Don't know what his,
I know he wanted to be, let known what our direction was gonna be, so if he, you know, he wasn't gonna start with Joe's or work with the trees until he knew that it was a go ahead.
to do a little bit of dirt work, looking at about 4 or 5 days, about 32,000. It is kind of about what we're looking at also on improving that intersection, which really isn't bad. Yeah, but that's, like I said, that's just coming in, scraping the dirt. Where it's available next to the site, probably putting it in trucks and literally dumping it and placing it with trucks for a little bit. And,
And like they're doing over there by the cemetery.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit unique, and then we talked about this bed, and I can't do it. It's, I know it's a dead end road, but yet it's also utilized a lot for community events and different events. We got women in business, and you guys were there. I mean, he does open up his place for a lot of public services.
well, it is a road.
It is a road.
It's our road. It is a.
Our responsibility.
It is a bad intersection trying to pull up onto that highway. There is bad sight distance going to the east there. We'll be able to address that, shaping that bank down. The DOT is agreeable to us, doing some work on their right of way to get that bank off there. Just at the end of the day, it is our responsibility to make sure that it's safe at that intersection, regardless of whether or not there's one person or 200 people. That we can do some work on that, I feel, but
Are you gonna contact Kent and let him know?
I certainly can, yeah, that it is in the plans for us to, if everybody's agreeable, we will plan on doing that, probably first part of next spring. So. Maybe not first part of next spring, we don't wanna get a lucky situation.
Right.
But,
Okay.
and, like I said, I don't think we have a lot of utilities to contend with there, that's a plus, so. That's helpful. I know when we first were looking at it, we didn't know it was there. Well, what we would have to be relocating and it got to be. It was looking pretty daunting at first, but I think we can get it done pretty reasonable, pretty quickly, so. Good.
He'll be glad to hear from you.
I'll give them a call with it. Then really, the only other thing, gravel needs, I've been looking into. Really, we're looking at very similar quantities of what we're looking at for gravel, as we did last year, around that 120,000 ton is what we kind of typically go through a year. Most of it goes on the roads. We did put a little bit in stockpiles this year, but our stockpiles have been short, so it was good to be able to get some of the stockpiles, but without really knowing from year to year what the year looks like,
How many years you suppose we've been putting that much rock?
since I've been here, and I know we maybe have backed it off a little bit, you know, time, where we've. There are a couple of years where we just had great winters, didn't really have a lot of gravel loss over the winter. We maybe backed it off a little bit, but, you know, you can chance it that way, but, in my opinion, it's better to have the gravel here and anticipate needing it than not, so, and having to having a scramble for it, so. Especially knowing our stockpiles are down a little bit, but, rebuilt them up a little bit this season, I think, after we put it on the road, but we typically go through that much, about the. I want to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 ton a mile, that's sound right? 120 ton a mile, what we put on, but,
20 miles of gravel roughly.
about 180. It takes some areas take more, some areas take less, I don't know how that equates out,
Yeah.
but, or if that was just general thinking.
We
but-
did that 100 over 30-year time, that's 4,000 tons per month.
Over 30 years, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, that's what what had me thinking is our higher use roads that probably suck up the most of that gravel, if we did the subgrade stabilization, seal coats on more of those. How much would that actually save us over that 30 years? In the next 30, I mean.
first, we really haven't put the numbers to it.
I mean, that's probably something we should look at. I mean, we're not gonna be able to do that everywhere, but
No, I do feel there's areas that.
we've even talked about some of the roads that are highly used to landmarks like cemetery or something, you know, I mean, we've talked about that kind of stuff. So maybe that's something we actually evaluate the cost analysis. See if that's a smart way to go to help save money in the future.
And that number's gonna be larger, them roads are getting limestone, majority of it, so, I mean.
Yeah, the heavier travel roads are, said,
All that ends up, and it might be, you know, I mean, cause you gotta think the motor grader hours that go into it, let alone the depreciation, fuel costs, all that stuff that goes into maintaining that road. Cause you know, I mean, it's just like where we were at least every once a week doing Yellow Smoke Road, which I don't know if we can check on people's performance, but I'm not very happy with that road. Is anybody else drove like that? It's rough when you first get off there at the Yellow Smoke onto it, boy, oh boy.
right now.
If you compare it to what we had down there at Easton's, I mean, there's no comparison. As far as quality of performance.
Yeah, just
Different crew, obviously.
different crew and just different area, different material that they were doing. Same mixture that they had to do it, but the base is different.
But different working conditions, I know, yeah, a lot of, like I said, we had it bladed and smooth as can be, and just ahead of putting that down, we had that rain and, vehicle traffic, started going through, that did have. That caused a little bit of that dip in one spot, which they did come through and blacktop services that filled in a little bit of a low spot, it's not the smoothest, it will over time, like any other Silk Road road, it's not a pavement, like,
No.
it will have some.
I was just comparing it to
Surface,
Easton's Road, it's gosh darn, that one's held up so well compared to Bacon for the heavy truck traffic and everything. We got tractors peeling in and out of there all the time, you know. Just seemed like we'd like to know what was done different, if anything.
If anything,
Like you said, it's different materials.
Soil types, I mean.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they got samples of it, they did all their studies, and they designed it to the best of what their engineering capability was. There was just other environmental factors, I think, that happened to it, and it wasn't that constant move process right there, there's a couple days gap with rain or other things, people moving in. So I think that there's been a lot of it,
Just from watching the operations, I did notice, you can definitely see where they hit a different soil type, you know, when they were doing their reclamation, you could just tell that soil's different right there. And some of that, it probably does play a factor in how well compacted compared to other areas when they did blade it off, and that makes some of them other areas are soft. Not exactly certain, I agree though, it's not as smooth as what was done out at Houston's, I feel it's acceptable, but, not as great as.
No, it's better than it was, by a long shot, mind you, but I was just comparing it one to the other.
But they did work with that blade, getting it, trying to get her smoothed up to what they did, once you got that reclaimed and you're trying to do that tight blade to get a smooth finish, it does, that blade just chatters across there trying to get her smoothed up, and you work with quite a bit, take a little more off here, so. At some point, we had to pull the plug and say, good, so, and, but, so.
It's a longer stretch to do by a long shot. Okay.
But yeah,
I'm just
I do
wondering
feel
about
there's a
that,
place.
if that would be something that would save us money. I mean, did you look at the road that Deloitte Boulevard? I mean, that gets so much bus traffic and other traffic, and truck traffic.
That's a road that, with all the limestone that we just put out there for the Iowa State, the granular optimization study, really, we should, it'd be a lot less input to probably do that. I would assume, we do our testing like we would normally, but, we've got enough limestone out there that I would think, we wouldn't have to bring much more in to get that compressive strength up there where we need to be. Probably wouldn't need as much of the cement content, dosage, for the mix design. Could probably get by maybe a little more reasonable. I'd have to, yet to be seen, but,
How
possibly.
long is that study?
1 year.
Oh, it's only a year.
I believe so. I think they just go out once a quarter, kind of do their tests. It's their, I don't know what tests they're performing on it. Compressive strength, just testing the compressive strength of what the existing roadway is at the time, and comparing them against the other test sections, and seeing what gravel mixture is best, which really we got the base mixture out there, which the existing surface, and then they did 3 test sections. It's not a lot of comparison, but it gives them an idea versus, the existing gravel with this much limestone, with this much roadstone, this much 1-inch commercial, what did a little better, and I'm sure they'd like to do more mixtures in different ratios, but that's what we're able to provide them for roadway to be able to do a few tests, but yeah, a lot of good material went out on the road. I just out there the other day, it's drives real nice road. I think it's compacted in. At first it was a little soft, driving through it, a lot loose, especially in the area where it was a lot of 1-inch cleaner material. But it's all settled in pretty good, so. But yeah, that road begs for a stabilization, I feel.
Yeah, that's
Just on it on Sunday.
gravel that goes to the highway for the bus route. That's what I know.
Yeah. I would have had that too, as far as going around the corner there, when coming up to the bridge on what do you say, the east end or north end?
10th Street up bound by Arkansas, is that from that?
Yes.
Yeah. But, you get to the other end of it, and you come around the corner to head over to the highway, where to actually stop this is. It should we do it, where to stop it is kind of a question of mine, but now we go all the way to the highway with it or stop it at that bridge.
Just a short stretch there, K, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Because that's what the bus is, isn't it?
Yep.
yeah.
A lot of them use that to come into the backside of the slopes.
I mean, and that's why I just, just thinking about that traffic, I mean, that road's always a water.
It gets a lot of traffic.
There's a lot of traffic. So it'd be another good example going forward, I mean.
Yep.
Something to think about.
I guess they're tasked with pinpointing some of them roads and try to develop a plan,
Yeah.
you
I mean, that's why it'd be neat to take a head to try to figure that out. And I know you guys got plenty to go on, but
I don't think it would take
just
much.
to figure out what our costs are now to maintain that road with everything. And then try to get it like this yellow smoke road, and we can watch to see how much we gotta do to that over the next couple of years, and if its maintenance level goes way down versus what we gotta do on the other gravels, gosh, that starts to tell you a lot right there.
Right. There is still some maintenance, periodically, another coat seal go on, will be merited, and,
But Paul even brought that up, like that real busy one there with the buses, okay, if that seal coat burns up pretty quick, you could come back with a 4-inch overlay on top of a road that's that heavily used. Because you know your space is stable. That,
Yeah.
number of things that we could look at.
Yeah, if it holds up, it's not out of line to think about putting a lift or two of asphalt over top of it. Should it not stabilize, that wouldn't be a good idea.
I know that's what Paul mentioned about the Yellowstone Road. Yes.
Remind me
So-
about how much that cost.
138,000,
638,000.
something like that.
The stabilization, that down there was 1.1 miles, ran about 280 thousand.
It's only 280?
Two.
Oh, hell, yeah. Just, well, shit.
When you start thinking about what we pay
That's-
for the
that's
rock,
why-
graders
I always have to think of the,
and trucks to bring in rock and all
Yeah.
that stuff, gosh darn it, that starts adding
I
up.
was thinking,
I think, it was a little more down at Houston, that area down there.
maybe that was.
Simply because we did, 12 inches.
They went, remember Paul saying they went a lot wider and everything than what we.
Maybe that was the 600,000.
Everything else we were that smoother than we got a lot more done than that.
But we had
It went deeper too.
initially estimated around 350,000 a mile on that stretch. Bids came in good, we also did a little bit less, so, we were happy with that, and, but. At prices, at them kind of prices, you figure somewhere in the neighborhood of 300,000 a mile, for the stabilization.
there we go. All right, I forgot. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Perfect.
Thanks, guys.
Want
Good
to
report.
thank the guy on 100.
Hopefully Mother Nature works with you and
Grateful
gets
and
some stuff
thankful
done
and
before the
appreciative.
snow flies.
I did get a call from him this
Yeah.
morning.
I know.
Happy we did get out there and get it.
Now that he's got your number.
Spring's supposed to be monsoons, that fall.
Did a little bit of, groups out that ditch on this, just with motor grader
Okay,
to
good.
get some of the flow in that ditch area, but,
Good.
yeah, he called this morning, he was thankful for the work we did, and, hopefully we, like I said, we'll take all the planks seriously by any means, and, if I don't hear a little more about, the heavy rains that come down.
Oh, that
The
was
thing
bad.
is, rains now, they come down, you get 2 inches in under 45 minutes, and it
Unbelievable. how
just
that
plays
rains.
out.
Yeah,
It doesn't-
nice.
It'd be nice if it could come down a little slower.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, yeah, that out there, that certainly came out of that field, washed right over that road, and, it had to have been one heck of a rain that they got.
Well, it's always nice to get somebody that says they appreciate it and I thank you, so
That is always appreciated.
that's always nice. All righty.
Okay, guys, thanks for coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck with the paperwork.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Okay, Ty.
Well, now you want me to talk?
Now I want to.
I had one meeting. Of consequence, that was my, ag steering committee, was the, monthly meeting, and it, we talked about renewable fuels, mostly when they talk about it, it's windmills and solar. You don't really discuss a lot unless you bring it up about like our ethanol and stuff like that. And the discussion was, basically to keep pushing that on the farm bill. It wasn't of anything that's happening right now, but things we want to be working on with the farm bill, renewables and so I did throw in there that, I think we need to be making sure that ethanol and biodiesel are a priority. Because it's fuel that's burnt here, and along with drill baby drill, that feeds more than just the oil industry, it feeds rural America. And that's what our committee is, it's ag and rural. And rural development is my committee, or I'm vice chair on that. And, which is kind of my wheelhouse, or at least what I'm most interested in, so. Anyway, then they got on the rural health transformation, obviously the 50 billion that's coming out, well, they cut 100. Don't look on Facebook at the commentaries about that stuff, it'll just pee you off, cause a lot of the stuff that got cut was taking care of the new immigration you know, that was the Medicaid stuff that took the bigger hit. I mean, obviously all of, I don't know about like that 50 billion that's coming out now. It's going, and this was my complaint, it's going to the state for distribution. It ain't coming out to the rural hospitals. Where you can apply for some of that, like Manning or Crawford County could apply for it directly. You know, it's this, you'll have to talk with the state. Now, I feel that we're probably in a better position in Iowa to get help in our rural hospitals than a lot of other states, but when it gets to the state, then they get to dictate where their portion, and they still gotta apply for it too. It ain't like it automatically comes out. You gotta apply for it. And I think that application date, gosh, they did say it. I didn't write it down, but it's coming up pretty soon that you gotta be applied by to get any of that 50 billion. And, it just kind of concerned me for a lot of the other states that probably don't pay as much attention to their rural. I mean, because you listen to some of these people talk, it's like they lose a couple of hospitals a month. It's just crazy out there, how many hospitals and then real, but you know, when you don't, when your population is very minimal, I mean, how do you keep them open? You know, because they gotta be, you gotta be generating revenue through doing work, and if you don't have a lot of people, it ain't gonna happen.
Well, typically, like in Manning, just the people we serve are a higher percentage of Medicaid patients, Medicaid, Medicare.
Yeah.
So that's some of our poverty levels and
But I think a lot, I mean, are you guys getting hacked as much as, I don't know. Do yours have legal challenges and being are they illegally here, or, them are the things that I wanna.
I don't say we have a lot of that, just that a lot of them qualify for Medicaid, Medicare.
Then are you getting those reimbursements, or are they denying, or is it going down a lot?
It'll start to ratchet down.
Okay,
One of our big funds that we get is the directed to DPP payment from the federal government, that directed payment program. That's like $3 million. That's added to our line.
yeah, no, $3 million out here makes a difference.
Keep starting to cut that back down. I mean, we'll just be taken away, as I understand, just once swoop, kind of ratchet down.
And then you're supposed to try to find a way to make that up, is that why they're doing it that way, or? See, here's my concern, like, you just use Crawford County for instance. Aaron doesn't really get along with the veteran administration. And she won't accept that, and they asked for an ortho thing for me, and they said, you got a place that's closer to you'd like to use, or a doctor? And I said, yeah, I'd kind of like to use our new doctor, sounds like he's really doing a hell of a good job. And I told him, who he was here, and Burkett, and I said, Dr. Ben, is what everybody's calling, but I said, boy, that hospital isn't available to us. Well, and that's because of, and my understanding is the Medicaid reimbursement level, but at least cause she kind of talks about all those that are uninsured. Now that's such a, at least VA isn't uninsured. So so that's the thing, is there's a bigger scope that's going on out there that's challenging our rural hospitals.
When you're right, that's something that we always assess is the services we provide at a hospital. Like Manning, we're not county, so we don't have any levies to help subsidize, but you look at what are those Medicaid reimbursements? What are we providing in the cost? And if we're doing it at a loss, how important is that service to the community that we feel either we need to continue it at a loss because the community needs it, and try to make it up elsewhere, or when you get to the point that we have to quit providing it because
Well, that's what I wondered what's going on.
it's costing us.
But is the Medicare paid problem really that they never qualified for it because they have a different way of qualifying for it? Because that's kind of what I'm hearing is some of the Medicaid that you're losing is Medicaid that people weren't supposed to have anyway.
That hasn't come up. for
Okay,
us.
all right.
And I really, that has never come up in any of our meetings.
Wonder if that's just a big city.
One thing we continually fight, but granted, like Manning, and I'm just speaking for Manning, that You know, we are a Mercy affiliate, so we have the Mercy as kind of, you know, there are companies, overseer that helps with negotiations of the MCO's reimbursement rates, which we always seem to fight, you know, what those rates are gonna be, how timely we get them paid back. That's the other issue, you know, our AR days, you wanna keep them as low as you can so that you have that cash flow coming. Sometimes you don't get reimbursed timely and you have to resubmit it and it just draws out your.
Well, even our detention centers talk about how long it takes to get reimbursed from the state, so I can't imagine it's better at the federal level. Yeah. Interesting. Well, I'm asking these questions because when we start talking about that, I'm kind of half the time, you know, I'm learning as they're talking. So I mean, I'd like to be a little smarter when we're talking about
While you're
what
waiting,
we're fighting here.
payroll still needs to go, bills being paid while you're waiting, so that's where the crunches come in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then you have tomorrow and then you're paying.
AR days, your accounts receivable, and
Yep.
the bigger that is, that means you have more hanging out there that's not coming in, so they're always working to try to get that as low as they possibly can and get that billing out and get it. But that's a struggle.
It's a struggle.
Yeah, okay. And then, like I said, we're gonna do a fly-in. And wanted to do that because we're really wanting, NACO's really wanting to get pushing on the farm bill. You know, without pressure on that stuff. So they've asked specifics to come in there. Most of the vice chairs, and there's others, across Rural Action Caucus and the Ag Committee that we're doing. So. And we discussed that a little bit, but that's more of a smaller, not a small group, but it'll still be a sizable bunch of us out there. Anyway. Cause you wanna hit as many reps, have their own people talking, you don't want somebody from Iowa talking to somebody from Florida, you know. You wanna have all of us that's voice there, so. Then you got all the backup too. Anyway, that was kind of what yesterday's meeting was about, and then I did wanna go over with you what I did on Friday, you know, it's more of a state thing, cause that's the Governor's Freight Advisory Council, but, we went on a train ride on the Iowa Interstate line. It actually runs from Chicago clear to Council Bluffs, you know, but they call it the Iowa Interstate line. And the guy that one of the big funders with a group. They aren't the main lines, but they're the regional train services, and they got one group that's got a bunch, there's several of them. I don't know how many are really been told, but Iowa Interstate's part of that. And that's actually a very efficient operation. We got to tour their maintenance shop, which I was, wow, I was wowed by that.
Where's that
Their maintenance shop's over by a man, the
at?
combination.
Oh, okay.
And then where we got on was at Newton, but like I said, it runs from Chicago and they do a lot of our grain freights, all that stuff, you know.
How long were you on it?
Well, I had to be there at 8 o'clock or 8:30, you know, so the train pulled out at 9.
Okay.
And 3 o'clock before we got back. You know,
Okay.
so then I had to race back home to 10 bar, you know,
Oh, boy.
oh, it was fascinating. And then being able to talk to all of them, and I did have a really good conversation. The neat thing about this council is, or commission, whatever we are, but, you got everybody, every cross section. So I'm sitting there with Stu Anderson, which is from the DOT, and actually the director of the Iowa DOT was on this trip. You know, so I had a nice conversation with him, but I got to talk with Army Corps engineers. Got some contacts for a few things that we're working on here in the county and hope to do it anyway. And, so you get a lot of good networking and something like this, which benefits us here at home. But, the train thing was fascinating. I was really talking to him because the development aspect, you know, Manning's got a rail line. We talked about yours actually, you know, or the Manning one. Excuse me, Manila one. I'll get on the right.
I know where
track
you're
here.
at.
You knew where I was going, right? But we talked about that and, you know, that affects you guys and Aspen also did that one. So there's a couple of our towns that are in that are in areas you could do some development. But then right across the street from where we got on the train, they're building blades and stuff again for the wind turbines. And, boy, they were loading them up. It's like, when I got there that morning, there was a whole line of trucks down the highway and they were just about all gone when we got back. But, just taking blades, and I don't know if they're just going to Iowa farms or where they're going, but, it was TPI, it's a company that does that. It was really interesting, you know, they talked about that a little bit, about their ability they built that yard so that they could transport some of that stuff for them. Because most of our regional lines hook into the main lines, as they call it, so that helps you with the monopoly board. Now I know where the main line go from. But, the short line, which is basically what they are, short line, regionals, whatever you wanna call them. But it was very interesting, you know, got to meet this guy, the guy that was the money guy behind all of it, Henry. We actually got to ride on that. I said, well, I could give a campaign speech. Can you rip this thing through Crawford County quick? You know where they stand on the back of the
Oh,
train
yeah.
there? We actually got a ride back there while I was going down the track. That was pretty cool.
People.
But, take turns, you know, obviously couldn't get too many people out there. But then get a visit with him out there, cause he spent a lot of time in that back car there. But that was pretty interesting. And I mean, the contacts you get to make with something like that, I'm always, you know, kind of primping them for things that we need or what to do. And then I was thinking about like a town like Schleswig, which really has some pretty good ground for development because they're not as rolling as some of the rest of our county. You know, what would it take to get a spur into that, something like that? I mean, if a bigger company wanted to build there, the railroad might want to do it just because of the work, you know, like a CN or something. So I was kind of feeling that out to see what kind of abilities there would be to get something like that done. So it was interesting. So I just wanted to bring that up. It was a really neat meeting this last night. You know, I mean, the train ride was fun. You know, it trained a lot smoother than you'd think. I don't remember any of them where like the plane does that, so you know, nothing like that else. But he said that their line, especially through Iowa, is a really good line compared to some others. You get some that'll toss you around a little bit. But he said, you know, ours in Iowa is pretty darn good line. And I won't argue that, because gosh darn, you didn't even feel yourself shaking a lot, you know, it was a pretty smooth ride. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you too. That's all I got.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, we'll move on to discuss, take action, appointment of Dan Knight, Veterans Affairs Commission.
Yeah,
Make a motion to approve that.
I'll second that.
Motion
Lisa's
and
happy.
second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
I
Chair votes aye. Aye.
believe he's got a full board now, I guess, then.
Yeah.
This appointment.
I will call down to the auditor's office, assessor's office, assessor's office. That's what I meant.
Yep, yeah. Yeah, there was actually, and I suppose it was just for our curiosity, but there was like sleeper car that we got to kind of tour through it, go out and check it out. It's actually pretty darn nice. And you know, the train blows the whistle a lot.
Yep.
And when you were in them.
Sorry to let you be here. Didn't know
I
where
could remember.
you wanted to come up, we're up to.
Kid,
have to
nobody
make a
started
motion.
eating something, I could hear the whistle more than I
Yep.
did.
Sounds great.
Pretty neat.
Thanks, Darla. Bye.
Here, we take it from Omaha to Denver. Up to the junction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We love it. Well, we used to love it till COVID. Yeah, since COVID.
We'll have to, my wife wants to do that. That's probably pretty fun, right?
It is.
Going through the mountains.
We get up at 11 o'clock. at
Linda
night.
did that for both Shasta when they turned teenagers.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. She said.
Bet it was.
We get in at Omaha, we get on in Omaha at 11 p.m. Then about 7 a.m. Wait a while, then we head over to yes, it's beautiful.
Well, you now. Hey.
Come on down, man.
Stella,
Okay, that's warm around here. It's cold in our office.
it's cold outside a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's because there's a lot of hot air flies around.
Is that the deal?
I just got done right.
Uh-oh. Okay,
Now we've got.
so this building permit was back from April. But it was completed, yeah, in the spring of 24.
But
You know,
is that in the
again,
county, or isn't that in the city limits of Denison? That,
see, it's out there. so-
yeah, right there by,
I mean, I
the,
don't know.
By his current building.
It's Cody Moore's,
yeah, by GCC concrete.
The one he's working in now, that building?
That's what,
well,
Right across
That's,
the
that's
been
13,
done.
that's
Yeah, that's
13.
13th Street.
Yeah, right across from the
That's in the city
DNS
limits.
trailer park,
Mm-hmm,
kind of where the city bought those.
So does
lots.
he not need the tax abatement?
we can't.
You'd have to get it
Yeah,
from
we
the
can't
city.
approve it.
City will have to do it.
You have to come to
Yeah.
city.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's the only, if
If
it's
it's in
outside
city
the
limits.
corporate limits, we could do it, but.
Yeah,
That's the
like,
question,
Same
yeah.
way with that Susway property, did Ethan tell you about that? Yeah, because they have their own, some county won't.
Okay,
it's outside
They
our
have-
jurisdiction.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, okay.
Incorporated limit.
But if that's something that you have to throw at you, it's for molds, we wouldn't
Yeah,
probably know.
so
You just
like, yeah,
No, that's why we brought you up here, because we're just
Yeah.
questioning the
Yeah,
location.
cause I just, yeah, got the building permit, but,
They
Yeah,
just-
and it's the city's building permit, right?
so then he gets the tax abatement from the city hall.
Yes,
Correct.
except it's not our jurisdiction.
And we don't know if their policy is that you
Okay.
had to have it.
You might have to
before.
work with them to, so that they know that you put it all in on time and everything.
Okay,
So-
because this person came in, like his girlfriend or
Fiance.
fiance, thinking he had already done it, but I didn't have any record of it, and then, yeah, so I missed the,
No,
the
I-
city step.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that's,
God, well, I'm sorry to waste your
Hey,
time.
no worries
No,
at all.
okay, so I
No,
should
no.
contact the city hall.
If we can be here to help you learn about that job, I'm gonna guarantee you, we'll, you know,
Okay,
help
well,
you get, there's a lot.
but we
going
were
on
actually
there.
kind of wondering, well, because, but I think it's.
Kyle caught that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
We
well,
did.
okay, sorry.
No, don't be
Without
sorry.
knowing the whole
But there was
story.
something
we
else
don't-
And that's why we like to have you come up too, because just if anything like this comes up, we
Yeah.
just.
Because had we not
Talk
questioned
out.
it, we'd approve something we had no right
Yeah.
to approve.
Okay,
We don't like to
Exactly.
do
very
that.
good, yeah, cause it says
Wasting
city.
our time. No, thanks to that. That's a
Okay.
good team there.
Good,
Yeah,
maybe something else would
it
be.
wouldn't be Tuesday unless you got to come up and see us.
I know, I like it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks, Carla.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Said no.
Okay, move on to citizens
Remark.
input. We have nobody in here, anybody on Zoom with citizen input? Cindy, go ahead.
Good morning. I have a couple updates with the pipeline that I thought I would share with you. Going back, you all know that in 24, the IUC issued Summit a conditional permit for their original petition. Okay, the permit was appealed in district court by several parties, and oral arguments had been scheduled for October 10th. Then last week, Summit filed a 400-page petition to amend their original permit. And this amendment is asking for things like to modify the route and pipe size, to modify rail and state highway road crossing, to add the ethanol plant in Denison, and to amend conditions regarding North Dakota and South Dakota. Then what happened was on last Friday, the court has decided, Summit asked the district court for an expedited remedy, and they filed a motion to remand to reopen the record, which means instead of us arguing the appeal on October 10th, we are going to be arguing why the case should not be remanded back down to the IUC. So depending upon how the judge rules on that, if they rule that it does get remanded back down to the IUC, that indicates it will be an entirely new hearing. They will start over at ground zero, basically. And it will be, instead of their original filing, it will be with these amendments. However, if the judge rules not to remand it, then they will schedule a new date for the oral hearings of the appeal. So lots happening. October is going to be a very busy month. So any questions that it's a lot of information, and I was trying to summarize it within my 2 minutes. So hopefully I did that.
Did I hear North Dakota is suing South Dakota now? Because
They-
they're blocked.
They
Yeah.
are in, nothing official yet, Kyle, but yeah, there has been talk about that. And the thing with, we don't know, Summit has not been very open as far as this amendment is basically to try to get a different route. And they're being pretty secretive of what their new route would be. But we have some ideas, but I'm not at liberty to share them.
Well, Cindy, I guess if they're willing to go a new route to get to North Dakota, it would fool me that why wouldn't they go a new route to get around people like you that
Thanks.
are, that
Eminent
just, that
domain.
dumbfounds me. They can move it to go around the state, but they can't move it to go around.
Hi, sweetie.
That's what kills me. Cindy,
I agree 100%, Kyle.
I applaud your fight and, you know, I keep up the good fight. It just dumbfounds me that how this is all playing out.
I got explained, it got explained to me one time, and I don't know how much I bought it. Like being able to move the pipe here in Iowa, IUC, I get that right, IUC?
IUC.
IUC has to approve that, any kind of movement of the pipe inside Iowa. So
Yes.
that, and that's their excuse for having to use eminent domain, or that's their reason. I didn't want to make that sound bad. That's their reason for quote unquote having to use eminent domain. I don't know that somebody shouldn't give them more, an IUC, I mean, giving them more longitude to avoid going through farms that don't want to be part of the process.
There
You
is a
know, and
corridor they have to abide with.
Yeah,
Well,
and then the last thing I worry about is PHMSA's. I don't know if we could call it ineptitude, because they have some rules, but not enough to make sure it's safe. So I mean, that to me is really the biggest failing in this whole thing, is where PHMSA is supposed to be in charge of safety, so not even the state has any quote unquote say in it. And then they'll admit openly that, well, we just don't know everything. Well, then maybe you let us work on it here at the local level, right?
Yeah.
You're exactly right. They have different concerns than we do.
Yeah.
They're not even thinking about what our biggest concerns are. They're just, it's a big picture to them and it's just not adequate. They're exactly right.
And I guess I keep thinking back on this, and I say, well, we don't want an industry to have to come in and have to deal with each county. Why? What's wrong with that?
Right.
Home rule.
Well, I mean, who better looks after the folks that they live next to? Nobody.
Right.
If you live close and it's in your world, you look at it, because it's also probably affecting your own. Anyway, sorry, get off my soapbox.
No, we
Thanks for the
appreciate
update,
sending
yeah.
all your updates and keep updating us.
Absolutely.
I will, thank you.
We're looking for good news.
We found a lot of flaws in the system through this. I mean, sadly, we're having to pay the penalty for it.
Anybody else with citizen input on Zoom?
Look at.
Well, we got, here's a citizen input
Here's
right
citizen
here.
I'm
input.
here to support Crawford County's sheltered workshop. Would anybody like to donate and get some cookies or Tootsie Rolls?
here, I don't want this to roll.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, baby.
You're not after any of your
It could
chocolate.
be real lucky.
Somebody-
Anyway.
Thank you, sir.
Hold on.
The Catholics-
I don't usually bring many here.
Since I don't have to walk around the vest.
Here. Make it worth your trip.
Dave, you
up.
should have the vest on, shouldn't you?
Thank you.
You even get special Tootsie Rolls.
I Yeah, they're love really- it.
Your name on it.
These are as fresh as new money. Yes.
Oh.
Thanks, kids.
Thank you. Nice to see you out working.
This is fun compared to what I usually do.
They're nice
Well-
and soft.
I got interviews in 4 minutes, so I'd make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
I get it.
I have nothing. Yeah, no.
All in
thank
favor,
you
say aye.
very much.
All right.
Aye,
I
Aye.
we are adjourned.